Hey guys, so today I'm going to be mixing all of my foundation together. Sophia did this video first and it was such a good idea. I wanted to do it as well and also tell you guys what some of my favorite foundation mixes are because I mix foundation on a regular basis all the time. I bought a little clear plastic container on Amazon so we can make an entire custom foundation. But before we do that, I figured I would share some of my favorite combinations of foundation, so let's get started with that. I would say that by far my number one mix-in for foundation is the NYX Total Control Drops. These things are so good when they're mixed in with any other foundation. It kind of just makes it a little bit thinner without really taking down any coverage. I personally do not like them by themselves at all, but mixing these in almost any foundation I have will make it just so much better. I feel like when I mix these in with almost any other foundation, usually a heavier one, it just makes it look a lot less cakey, but it doesn't really take away any coverage. My number one favorite foundation combination is the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation and the NYX Total Control Drops. By itself, the Marc Jacobs foundation is really good, really high coverage, but the shades are so off. They could stand to put another like 15 shades in the range. It is terrible, and the entire range is extremely yellow. So being someone that's more neutral and maybe even a little bit pink, these make the foundation workable for me. And because it is such a full coverage foundation, sometimes you can start to like cake up around your nose, but putting these in with it will really help reduce all of that like sort of like cakiness and feeling really, really heavy on your skin. My second favorite foundation combination is the L'Oreal Pro Matte mixed with the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I really love both of these foundations on their own, but mixing them together literally makes like the perfect like in between dewy and matte. So you get a really, really satin finish and you get a little bit more of the coverage that the Pro Matte has, but you get really that like nice looking glow that the Pro Glow has. And I love mixing these. I almost never wear them by themselves, although I do like both of them, but I love them even more together. My next favorite combination is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation with the L'Oreal Pro Glow Foundation. The Huda Beauty Faux Filter is so thick and has such high coverage that I really like to balance it out with the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I do like coverage, but a lot of the time I don't feel like I need as much coverage as this has, but I really like the finish and I really like the evenness of my foundation with this. So I like to just basically tone it down with a little bit of the L'Oreal Pro Glow. L'Oreal Pro Glow is another really, really good mix-in for almost any foundation if you want to thin it out a little bit, but really get like a nice like glow and really fresh look. And last but not least is the Dermacool foundation with the Hard Candy Glamouflage Mix-In Pigment Drops. I feel like Dermacool can get a little bit slidey, and so I like to balance it out with the Hard Candy Drops. These by themselves are way, way too dry for me. So if you are having an issue with your foundation maybe being too slidey or too oily, definitely consider putting these drops. These drops are pretty matte, and so it can kind of just even them out. And that is all of my favorite foundation combinations. Now let's get into just mixing all of the foundation together. So I have this little tube that we'll do here. So I'm gonna open this and it has this like a little hole, so let's just get started. I don't really have any specific unit of measurement that we're using. We're just gonna do it by like the pump. So number one will be the Fenty Pro Filter Foundation. And I am going to do 2 pumps for each foundation because in a ton of these foundations I have multiple shades and I like to mix the right shade together, and so I feel like that will really just make the perfect color opposed to just trying to do one shade or the other. I feel like that will make just like a either too light shade or a way too dark shade. So this will be the second pump and voila. Does that seem like enough? It doesn't seem like enough. Okay, not gonna lie, I put another one in there for good measure just because I feel like you get almost nothing out of this one. You guys know what I mean? So the next is one shade of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. This one is in custard, so 1. The next is this lighter shade. Let's do 2. Yeah. Okay. changing my mind for the last time. I'm doing 4 pumps total. So I did 2 for each of those, and then I'm gonna do 1 more of the Fenty. We're all even now. It's all good. Next is the Laura Geller Cover Lock. I really like this foundation. It is very thick and very full coverage, but it's not quite on the coverage level of like Huda or Marc Jacobs, but it's still really, really good. So with these squeezy ones, I think I'm just gonna try to, that seems accurate. And I'm just grabbing whatever in my like little pile is the L'Oreal Pro Glow. Pretty sure I'm almost out of this one. Okay, and then truth be told, these hard candy ones are getting everywhere, so I'm just gonna put that in. They could improve the packaging on that one. And then next will be Dermacool, Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I don't like this one. I really like the dewy version, but I do not like the matte version. And I'm just gonna pour. I think we're getting somewhere. I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to have like nearly enough, but I think we're okay. Next, this is the Hard Candy Glamouflage. We'll do again like 2 pumps of this one because I definitely have another shade of this one. Sephora Infusion. My darker version of the Hard Candy Glamouflage. L'Oreal Total Cover. I was really disappointed in this foundation. I did not like it at all when I first got it, and then like a couple weeks ago I tried it and I was like, oh my god, why didn't I like this? And then a couple days ago I tried it again, and then it just didn't work. I just feel like some days it works, some days it doesn't. It's back and forth. Go in. Then the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Foundation. I have a whole review of this up already. Second shade. Then this is the NYX Total Control Drops. Oh god. This is the Maybelline Fit Me in Dewy instead of matte this time. And then the Marc Jacobs Remarkable. I hate how hard this is to get out. Like, what kind of applicator is this even? Like, it's not a dropper. I'm gonna just try to pour it. Oh, it's working, okay. Worked better than I thought. And then the Too Faced Peach Perfect. I put this back in the box because I wasn't sure if I was gonna return it. Because I wore it once and I think it broke me out really bad. I was breaking out really bad the next day. It could have been something else because I was trying a couple different products that day, but I was pretty sure it was this, but I'm not really someone that's gonna like test it again until now, I guess. So let's put some of this in. Next, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I went to so many different stores trying to find this stuff, and then I hated it. Second shade of the Laura Geller Cover Lock. First shade of the L'Oreal Pro Matte. I'm pretty much out of the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I'm pretty much out of both of them. I need to rebuy, get what I can out of this L'Oreal Pro Glow. This is my darker shade. And then finally the darker shade of the Pro Matte. Okay, and then that is it for like the full sizes ones. Next I have this little mini of the Josie Maran, whatever, Vibrancy. I didn't really like this one, but I have it, so we might as well put it in. And that is actually all. Here is what the outside looks like. I think it's about almost half full, so I tried my best to make like an actual one. I actually feel like I use a lot of stick foundation, so that's kind of what was lacking here, as I didn't really have like I didn't really think that I could like properly cut off a little chunk of like foundation, like stick it in this, if you know what I mean. So next I guess I'm just going to shake this for a while. You can hear it though. Okay, so I had to like stir it because I wanted to make sure that it was all pretty much thoroughly mixed since there was some thicker foundations, and I think we're pretty good. So as much as I want to just like put the pump on it, I'm going to try to use what I stirred it with this like brush first. So let me zoom you guys in a tiny bit so we can get some like better face action. And I figure we will put this on and then I will wear it for a little bit and we'll see how it is. So here it is. I'm just going to, ooh, there's a little chunk. Okay, maybe I didn't mix it as good as I thought. I feel like this looks like an okay color. I feel like it smells really foundation-y, which is weird because I don't feel like I have a lot of foundation that smells like really makeup-y. Do you know what I'm saying? I was looking at myself in the mirror to figure out why I had like these red spots on my forehead, but then I remembered I bleached my roots earlier. So, good job, me. So I have a beauty blender, and now I figure let's just blend it out as normal. I feel like we're getting really good coverage actually, which I'm kind of surprised because a lot of my foundations I would say are on the like lighter to medium coverage side. I'm not sure what finish we'll end up with. As we're settling, I think it's going to go a little bit more matte than like dewy, even though you can still see like some of the shine. I can just really see it like setting in. By the way, I would say that I have like dry to normal skin ever since it's been winter. It's been a little bit more dry. You can see a little bit of dryness on my forehead, but I've been putting on moisturizer all the time. So I'm doing my best. I think that looks pretty good, to be honest. Does the color like match me perfectly? I have not been wearing heavy foundation anymore since I kind of stopped doing so many Instagram videos. I just have not really felt the need, and like my skin has been pretty clear after I finally figured out what was breaking me out so bad for a little while. And so I just don't feel like I need to put on like a bunch of heavy foundation. So I think that this actually looks pretty good. I am going to put a tiny bit more on because I definitely got like the immediate center of my face, but not the outer center, if you don't want to look to the side and be like, oh, you missed a patch. So let's try to like pump it out now. Okay, so here's the deal. We have to wait till this gets up to the point that it's gonna start coming out. So ah! Got it. Okay, so this is about how much foundation I made. Here's what it looks like on my hand. The thin consistency, but it's not runny. You need to just, like get this spot over here. And the sides over here. For some reason, I always miss like my temples. I have no idea why. But like sometimes I'll be looking back in a video and I'm like, why didn't I put foundation there? It doesn't even make sense. I feel like it's really cool that I pretty much have my like own custom foundation. Regardless if I liked all of these foundations or not, I have my own custom one. This is probably like the best color match that I've ever had. As far as setting, I'm getting like a tiny bit of residue on my hands, but like it's not like coming off, and I don't think that you can see it coming off on my face. I think it has a light to a medium coverage, which is fine with me. I'm sure I could put on another layer, but I don't think that I should. I will, however, put on a tiny bit of concealer, and I figure I will just finish up my base. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape. Okay, so now that all of that is taken care of, why don't we move on to the glitter drops? These things, I was having so much fun with them. You guys know how I've already been obsessed with the Cover FX highlighters, the liquid ones. So they put this out and I was like, oh, it seems like too good to be true. Like, what kind of like liquid glitter? Like, we have pressed glitter and stuff like that, but liquid glitter. And I was really skeptical, even though I loved the other ones. And these are seriously so cool. Kind of just seems like a lot of shimmer, but I assure you it's like the smallest glitter you've ever seen. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap a tiny bit of that and just put it where I would normally put highlighter. Now I don't mind glitter on my face at all. Obviously this is not practical for most people, but it is 110% practical for me. Just so we have that clear. Anyway, these get like a 10 out of 10 in my book. I am going to buy the other colors and wear them all the time. And then I'm just going to set a tiny bit underneath my eyes. And then just use the excess around. There's literally almost nothing on this. And I'm going to do the finishing touches and I will see you in a second. Okay, so this is the finished product. I actually really like the foundation. I actually can see myself using this, I would say on a daily basis, but I don't wear makeup daily. So on a semi-regular basis, I kind of felt like mixing all of this just took all of the good from every foundation and put it all together. I would say the color was spot on, like compared to my face. I think it's crazy because normally I probably always look a bit too yellow just because I feel like a lot of foundations tend to lean a lot more yellow than a lot more pink, which I would prefer for me personally. And yeah, I will do a check-in just when I take off my makeup. I probably won't leave it on super long, but foundation just doesn't really wear heavily on me since my skin is sort of dry. I usually don't have like a substantial difference at the end of the night. A lot of times I can put my makeup on, go out for 6 hours and come back, and usually the only thing will be sometimes the mascara has like crumbled a little bit and like run, but other than that my foundation doesn't usually like start breaking apart or melting down or anything like that, and I don't really get oily, so I'm not going to leave this foundation on for like 12 hours to see how it wears because truthfully I kind of feel like it'll be fine, but I will check in before I take it off. But I am going to put my outro now because I don't know. I understand. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you like watching. I know that a lot of people wanted me to mix all of my nail polish together, but I only have like 5 nail polishes. I don't have a lot of nail polish. I don't have like a big collection or anything, so I really can't do that. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that. Other quick makeup details, I have the Hard Candy Blooming Lip Oil on my lips. I have Bold Face makeup. It's Go Time lashes on. Use code Emily Susanna, my name, for 10% off if you buy them. Wearing the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette on my eyes, and I really think that's it. I'm not wearing a bunch of makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will hopefully see you next time. Bye. Okay, so it's been a couple hours. I think it's honestly been like 2 or 3 hours, but my foundation looks almost the same. I would say it does look a little bit dry. Like you can start to see on my nose and around here that it is a little dry, and I think that that's probably the biggest con of the foundation, but I still think that it looks pretty good. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it on for like 8 hours, but I also don't think that anything like majorly dramatic would happen other than that it probably looks a bit drier, and then